Chapter 1. I know y'all think Seoul is where it's at. It's those modern skyscrapers. They're deceiving. Their bright lights sparkle, resembling New York's 42nd in the air like fireworks frozen in time. Then there's all the Buddhist temples and tea houses on the outskirts that sandwich everything together like a monster burger. A few pickles here, cheese oozing there, ketchup sliding down the sides with the tomato hanging off for dear life. Seoul makes your mouth water. I get it. That is where all the foreigners want to be when they come to South Korea, especially those teaching English like myself. And while I do think Seoul is poppin' and gets my appetite worked up to visit, let me tell y'all about hip hop clubs here in Daegu. They go hard. The music, though late by a few years, is reminiscent of the East Coast in its prime. The strobe lights work in unison with the vibrations from the music, and the pulsations feed your adrenaline, make you want to dance all night long. Poison of choice? A blue tinted beverage called Last Man Standing. Location, I bless my presence every Friday night. Juilliard. You're probably thinking about that performance arts school in New York. But trust, these two couldn't be on further ends of the spectrum. My Juilliard is nestled on a busy street at the bottom of a smoky, meandering staircase. John, the bodyguard, stands by the door checking foreigners for what we call alien registration cards. Koreans that are brave enough to party with us get their local IDs checked as well. I come so often, I practically co-own the place. I always walk to the front of the line and give John a dap before walking in. Then I head to the DJ booth to say what up to Don. That's the owner on the turntables. After, I find my boys in our usual spot by the pool table and the stripper poles. But before all of that, I'm handed a glass by the first bartender that notices me. The glass is always one of the many drinks I'll have for the evening, and it's only ever filled with my favorite blue venom. This particular night is no different, except I'm getting ready to wrap up my night up a little early. I nod in the direction of Ari, who's across the bar with her friends. She's been patiently waiting for me to wrap up my night. She sits in a tight purple mini dress. Her hair is straight and long. The dark strands brush against the shoulders Korean women are usually too modest about showing. When she catches my nod, she pulls on her coat to brace herself for the crisp October air and makes her round saying goodbye. Fixin' to leave? Michael peers down at his cell phone for the time. It's only 2. You know we don't leave till the sun come up. Michael's Alabamian accent slathers his words like butter trickling grits. He is a government contractor that works at the American military base here in Daegu. Been here 3 years and loves it too much to want to go home. I swear, if Don offered him a job, he'd take it. Yo, you out? Chris follows in confusion. I ain't been here but a minute, he reminds me. Chris is a teacher up in Seoul. He is Brooklyn born and raised, and in typical New York fashion, he makes sure everybody knows it. The people here be eating that shit up too, especially when they find out he's half Korean. He comes down to visit and party every once in a while. Korean apartments are pretty small, but staying with me when he's in town beats spending on hotel fees. Get this nigga a drink. Bet he'll stay, Michael bellows, bouncing a thick, dark knuckle on the table. Nah, I laugh as I get up from the bar stool. I'm good. Turning down a last man standing? He turns to Michael while blowing out cigarette smoke. He's losing his touch. Never that. Hey yo, I bet $20 you can't take another drink in one shot. Chris slams the equivalent of 10,000 Korean wons in the middle of the table. He beckons the bartender to make me a drink. The drink comes, One thing about me, I can't turn down a bet. I tap the glass on the table, purse my lips to filter out the ice, and gulp down the entire drink as if it's blue flavored Kool-Aid. I slam the glass down on the table. A second thing about me is I always win them. I snatch my money from the table. The third thing about me is I don't keep pussy waiting. I nod toward the exit. On that note, brothers, I got some rec waiting for me upstairs. They look toward the door and take in the last bit of Ari disappearing up the stairs. Oh, a little recreational for the night, Michael teases, with a strong emphasis on recreational. Fuck, I'ma stay, Chris asks, squinting his eyes, squeezing them into even smaller slants. You know I don't bring just anybody to the crib. We in a love motel for the night. I give both of them a pound and head toward the door. Ari's at the top of the steps waiting for me. Her back is turned in a way that she doesn't see me coming up behind her. I squeeze her waist. You ready, sweetheart? She darts her eyes to my crotch and back up. Yes. Flirtatiously. Flirtatious mannerisms I know she must have picked up from her time studying in Canada for 4 years. Because of this time abroad, our communication is less choppy than other Korean women I've interacted with. I'm glad for that tonight, though, because I'm not trying to work too hard, verbally. In other ways, I don't mind. I wink at her. Our first time was a quickie, and I'd like to think her English ability helped that flow a lot better than it otherwise would have gone. I can't stress enough how language differences can make having sex tricky. Can you imagine how hard it is communicating you want oral sex in a language you don't understand? It sounds cute when they do it, but coming from me, a 6'2" husky black man? Nah, language is a tricky thing. The last time I saw Ari was 3 weeks ago. She doesn't come out too often, so seeing her tonight was a surprise. We knew immediately when we saw each other that we'd be finishing up what we started. Her pink lips are pouty and dampened with gloss. They rest ajar slightly, and I can't wait to feel them against me again. I grin down at her, thinking about what I'm going to do to her tonight. She pokes a finger in the pebble-side dimple on my cheek. She's as eager as I am, I can tell. We walk through packs of people and loud music blasting from each establishment. Anything you want is here. Food, drinks, ice cream, even a few clothing stores are still open. The brightly lit signs stick out from the buildings like the tips of post-it notes that poke out from a heavily studied textbook. Right when we get to the end of the block, I realize I forgot to give my apartment key to Chris. Fuck, I groan, throwing my head back. Ari looks at me confused. What's wrong? I pull out my house keys. My friend is staying at my place tonight. I forgot to give him my key. Let's head back. The smoke is giving me a headache, she whines. I'll go in here for some water. I'll wait for you. She points at the CU, one of the many 24-hour convenience stores on the block. Hurry up, she says playfully, pushing me away. I raise my eyebrow and look down at her, pulling her close. She strokes her hand across the top of my sepia brown skin. Yeah, alright. Just make sure you get that water. You won't need it tonight.